Growing up here in Mountain Home, I can remember my parents talking about how lucky we was to have this family in our community. And I really didn't understand what my dad was talking about until I started working for the school system. And this family has been great, not only for the school, but the athletic department. Over the past so many years, this family has worked our programs. I would call and ask to pay, and they would say no. It actually got as bad as me not even wanting to call. I didn't want to feel like I was a burden to them, but they never felt or made me feel like I was a burden. And so I appreciate this family greatly. The other thing is we started the Mountain Home Athletic Foundation Booster Club years ago. And we wouldn't have the turf on the football field, or we wouldn't have our McLean Park without this family. This family sponsored one of the fields, and it's been great, not only for our kids, but our community. And for everything that we do in athletics, this family has always been a supporter. And all I could say is thank you. Our kids thank you, and our community thanks you.
Through my career with education, working with the public schools, and then crossing the highway and working with our local community college, there's been a family, an organization that has always made me smile when I get to work with them, or when I discover some great treasure that the rest of the world did not know about. I've been given some gifts and some friendships through the years. And this family, particularly one member of this family, has been one of the greatest gifts that I've received as far as a friendship. I met this person as volunteer coordinator over at Mountain Home Public Schools. And you find this family has given to the German-American Partnership Program. They have printed programs for the drama club. They have sponsored scholarships for students. They paid for FBLA students to travel and go to competitions. In 2003, when the Mountain Home High School restructured into the Mountain Home College and Career Academies, this family rose up and helped sponsor some of the first senior internships that the school offered. This person allowed groups of students to come through their company and tour and learn about all the things they do in their international business. In 2014, this same company took a little journey with the Mountain Home Education Foundation, and they sponsored the first teacher-business partnership. I worked with Ann Sargent over at Pinkston Middle School, and she asked for someone to help sponsor a study on world hunger. And this company worked with students. They took the research project by these students and made a magazine, glossy, full spread, called The Hungry Planet magazine. Following that, they chose to do another teacher business partnership called From Crafts to Cash. Carrie O'Brien had this great idea of leading her middle school students into a business model and see how they could learn it's the small business from crafts to cash. One member of this family chose to become chairman of the board, and she directed these students to identify a CFO, to identify a CEO, to identify a COO. They painted wooden projects. They sold wooden projects and put them back into the business company. What was really neat is after they sponsored the project, this one person of the family decided to buy name signs for every one of her neighbors as Christmas presents. So she in turn purchased the products from the supplies that her company had made and gave them around the neighborhood where she lived. She always stepped up to the plate and then made the plate rise up just a little bit higher so that we all have to rise up a little bit higher to perform such excellent volunteerism and support. Over to Arkansas State University Mountain Home. You wander the halls and you try to see different things. Well, there are 43 signed prints by artist J.D. Challenger that hang on the walls there. There's one that's particularly famous. It's called the Wounded Knee painting. And all of these paintings, all this project together tells the story about the Native Americans. Well, those paintings didn't get there because of tuition payments from you students to purchase these. These were donated as part of a permanent collection by this family. So through all of our talking, you've learned this family has impacted Mountain Home athletics, Mountain Home academics, and now Mountain Home arts. There's just not enough good things I can say about these fine people And here's the really neat fact about these people that are incredible and very giving. They never tell folks who they are. They never tell folks what they've done. You would never know the financial support, the time that they donate, and all the energy they put into various projects around our table.
At this point of the evening, I would believe that most of the people in the room have figured out who this year's Chairman's Award recipients are. It's the Maycunich and Barrow family with Judicious Spirits, Southern Tag and Label, and ITS. As Danny mentioned, one of the requirements for this role is a genuine love for the community. These families have demonstrated this over coming up on the last 50 years with tremendous amount of donations from Southern Tag and Label, being programs, brochures, calendars, anything printed. They've just been amazing to support that. The wine on your table tonight is just one example of total donation from Judicious Spirits. The awnings at the Bachelor Day Service Center were donated by ITS. Now, one of the neatest things that I thought was in a monetary donation was the naming rights were purchased by this family for the softball field at the Mountain Home schools. They chose not to name it Maycunich Field or Barrow Field. They named it Freedom Field in honor of the men and women that have served in our country to help keep us safe. Another thing that they've been, and Tammy especially, is friends of the chamber. She served on the chamber the last 3 years and is always willing and eager to help with anything the chamber needs. I do need to thank Molly and Mitch for jumping all over the opportunity to recognize this family. This time I'd like to ask the Maycunich and Barrow family to join me up on the stage.